Hi, good evening, everyone. Finally, we are together at 10 o'clock live chat, and hopefully the stream won't be that bad. We are still working off a hotspot of my phone. So, yes, hopefully we'll have the fiber sorted out very soon, hopefully tomorrow, because there's so much that I need to do. And it seems like these companies, you do something very quickly on your phone, you book and order it, and then after that, nothing happens. So we have people logging on now. Thanks for the people coming on this late. The interesting thing is that my largest live 10:30, maybe closer to 11 o'clock. And yeah, it's already telling me that I have an unstable connection, which is quite sad. So hopefully it won't be too painful. Hi, Darwin, Derek. Hi, welcome. I hope at least you're in bed and you're not sitting in a makeshift studio like I am. At the moment, we are still busy assembling all sorts of things and unpacking and so on as we move into our new abode. Hi, Julian, Carmen, Marty, Michael. Hi, South African. Jolby, Kakarot. Yeah, Kakarot. I'm going to be speaking about that at length. It is disappointing. Hi, Nicholas. And I'll explain why this is a huge problem. Because it means those people are seeking power. They don't actually care that the majority of people that do vote, they do believe that one thing that we can do democratically, because there's nothing else democratic that we can do in the country, is actually draw that cross, that they want to get power at all costs through rules, not through people. In other words, it's not to them about the majority of people that do choose to vote, of which the majority of people that do choose to vote, even although they are the minority in the last national elections, 2019 elections, the majority were the non-voters by just over 50% for the first time in the history of South Africa. And that's significant. That's a tipping point. However, of that minority that did vote, the ruling party still got the majority vote. And even although the system is wrong, it's crooked, and it needs to be fixed, it means that the majority of people still wanted to support them. And there's a reason for that. And this is something that a lot of people don't understand. When you travel around the country like I have, then you speak to people and you understand why they will not vote for the other parties, why they will vote for the ruling party. And I have complete and utter sympathy if you listen to their reasons. And what we need to do is provide an alternative that is viable, that addresses all their needs. And I believe that alternative exists at the moment. The only thing that these parties that celebrate this concord, it's not a victory. They gave a ruling, a very specific ruling where they say the elections will be held this year. And that would have been fine if the IEC was given enough time to set up a proper timetable to get everything done. And this is what the citizens of the country do not know, might not be familiar with how the IEC is tasked to set up a timetable to make everything happen on time. It's like with a project. At the beginning of a project, you have an estimated amount of time that it's going to take to get the job done. And it is disingenuous now for the IEC to get blamed for something when they weren't given the tools in the first place. They weren't allowed to move around. They did everything they could, including put an online system in place where people can register to vote online. And that obviously didn't always work properly. And it's new. A system like that is new. There's many people that don't have access to that. And that is why you have to go into the rural communities and set up tents. And I've been a VD captain at those tents. I've sat in those tents, outside the tents, inside the tent, to make sure the process is done properly. And I only have praise for the IEC in all my experience with them. And that is my experience. If you have people in place, observers, like I was at the time, then for the Democratic Alliance, then you will see that it's really, you get goosebumps when you see how flawless that system is. The only place where you can go wrong is to say that you don't have enough places where you can have people register. But on a voting registration weekend, they will make a tent available in every ward in the country. That is a massive undertaking. And now for the Concord to expect the IEC to pull this off in such a short space of time is not fair, because that's never happened before. So either way, if the elections go ahead, the 1st of November, the government implemented the regulations that stopped the IEC from doing their work, that stopped people from going to tents, standing in queues to register to vote. The government. These parties are blaming the IEC for something that they had nothing to do with. They are just a Chapter 9 institution, an organ of state, that is, and it has to be done according to the Constitution. So if things cannot be done correctly, who is to be blamed? The Constitution is to blame. And this is what was highlighted today. We have about 89 people here. Hi, Dave, Kevin, Janice, Ruth. Yeah, exactly. Ruth is saying a schedule that cannot work because of unrealistic time frame. Absolutely. You know, if the time frame is not realistic on any project, if you cannot put the manpower together and get something done on time, then you can't get it done on time. I was absolutely gobsmacked when the government actually posted dates for the election and closed the voters' roll, when no one has had the chance to actually have a registration weekend. There was none. And with no registration weekend, you cannot have free and fair elections. It's impossible. So how can parties like the DAs, Steenhuisen and these people, I mean, they are nutcases. How can they say that no, the election should go ahead to actually fulfill the constitutional mandate? To them, it's not about people. It's about power. And they just want to win wards where there are no ANC candidates. This is all they want to do. They don't care about the people that don't want to vote for them. They don't care about those people. So they actually don't care for the democratic process at all, because it's not a democratic process. They actually know this. And Helen Zille sent plainly and clearly many times, it's about, he said that they're surprised that the elections are not being postponed. They wanted it to be postponed. But they said because it's going ahead by the 27th that they don't want the ANC to get all their candidates on board. Now, if you don't fulfill the process on time, it's easy to say when you don't have the most candidates to field. When your processes and your own constitution doesn't, and I'm not making excuses for the ANC, they actually have comprehensive processes within their party to elect candidates. That to me is not a bad thing. I mean, if you within, and this is why I believe we need to do away with the party system completely, because with all the experience they've had over the years, I mean, if you look at their constitution, not the country's constitution, the ANC's constitution, that is long. You can see they've been through such twack with all the experience they've had with members. They've had it up to here. So they've written everything down. So they actually have gatherings where people vote and people decide, so that they know that, I mean, literally, this has happened many times. Or even worse, this just happened in the Western Cape, where the candidate was assassinated. So you need to do things properly to stop things from getting out of hand. And to me, the most important thing in our country is stability. Now, I've said many times in the past that the African National Congress, the ruling party, will not hand over power, ever. They will not hand over power. You will need the people of the country, and listen to me carefully, to change what they support so that the ruling party now becomes irrelevant. Listen carefully to what I'm saying. You need to change the hearts of the people. This is not about a party. It's about individuals. The system they caught up in is a system that is Western. It comes from Britain. This Westminster system we are stuck with does not come from Africa at all. Okay? And there are people that are forced or feel forced to take part in the system. Some people willingly, some people begrudgingly, And all they want to do, and I've spoken to people about this, all they want to do is make sure that their freedom as individuals in their culture, in their religion, whatever, will not be taken away like it was in the past. They don't want curfews, dom passes, and all sorts of things. A lot of people now can experience that, see what it's like. And I mean, to actually be subjected to that, for people to allow it to happen, is an absolute travesty. We need to build a critical mass to change that narrative, and it needs to include the majority of people now that are supporting the ruling party. Or you make sure that the masses that do not vote, that they get a reason to vote for the first time, and it only needs to happen once. And then you can change the constitution, you can change the Bill of Rights, and you can get rid of the party system, the whole British system that was established to literally destroy South Africa, keep it weak. Why would the British monarch empower countries that she has reign over in the Commonwealth? Why would she empower them to become stronger than Britain? It would make absolutely no sense. So she hasn't done that, and she won't do that. So we are subject to Britain to this very day. It's absolutely sickening. It has to stop. Wow, we're almost at 150 people on here. It has to stop. So this is not about the ANC, the DA, the EFF, the Freedom Front Plus, or whatever. It's about humans. It's about South African citizens. We are citizens by ID book, but we are subjects through our life, the life that we live in this monetary system and everything else. And now you have people like Musi Maimane, and you have John Steenhuisen singing the same refrain. No, the elections must take place now so new people can get a mandate. What mandate? Mandate for what? And then they promise you service delivery. I've never seen service delivery give you freedom. I don't know if any of you have seen service delivery giving you freedom. Yes, services should be delivered if you pay your rates and taxes. And yes, a lot of people are corrupt in what they do. They've been that way since governments existed. And this is why you need to change how governments function, how they are structured, to minimize that. Because as long as there are humans on this planet, people will be corrupt, and that is not going to be stopped. That can be improved, and you should put systems in place to improve it. And at this stage, this Concord ruling tells us a couple of things: that the constitution is flawed, that the political system is flawed once again, and that they couldn't find a way out that was actually fair and free. They couldn't find it. So now, on a time frame that no one can actually stick to, it's like a project, a 2-year project squished into 6 months. The IEC must now perform miracles in no time. The first thing that would happen, the IEC would do that long beforehand. They wanted to do it before. They asked the government to do it. The government said no. So why is the IEC being blamed right now? The government said, no, you cannot, because of COVID-19. That is unbelievable that the IEC is getting the blame now. Now, I know people, obviously, that's been receiving communication from the IEC all the time. And all I can tell you is they are doing a sterling job. The people on the ground have really been awesome. They've been going out of their way to help the people that just work with them. They are just fulfilling a job. They are not a party. They're a Chapter 9 institution. So there's normal South Africans working there, and those normal South Africans actually care. And I can not only vouch for that, I can testify to that because I've seen it, where these people go out of their way to accommodate you and help you. And this is what they do. So for political party leaders to make statements against the IEC is not only sick, it's demented. It really is. John Steenhuisen should be ashamed of himself. Well, actually, I shouldn't even mention his name. He's not worth mentioning at all. But people, enough of that. If you have any questions around that, this is a very serious situation, because if, as I've heard now, initially I heard that the ruling party didn't register candidates in 30 municipalities. The latest news is that in 100 municipalities, the ward councillor list weren't completed. That's getting close to 40% of the overall municipalities in the country. That is not a small thing. And this is why these other parties want the elections now, for no other reason. For no other reason. And that is not democratic at all. You know, it doesn't matter that you hate the ruling party, that you despise them because of what you see in the mainstream media. That's not what it's about. It's about the people who do the voting. And if you think those people are stupid or they don't know what they're doing, speak to them. Spend time and speak to them and get their perspective. And then maybe you will learn something and you will readjust your mindset. And I'm sure that you will. Okay, let's see some comments here. Yes, Kakarot, you are literally on the money there. I hope people can keep their cools and not cause chaos, cool heads. We should pray for that, people. I think it's important at this stage that the will of the people is important right now. And, you know, the moment the systems don't allow that to happen, then you get chaos, unfortunately. Yes, Marlene, absolutely. I've told the people at the Double days actually being trained to tar the streets, to paint the lines, paint the robots, clean the parks, clean out all the little rivers. It's happening all over Cape Town right now. They actually have a deliberate plan to do it 6 months before the local government elections. So they will not do it like clockwork before then. It has to happen in that time. They literally see you as sheep. They are actually trained to see you as sheep. And they are told that these people are stupid. You know, they sound like David Rockefeller. These people are stupid, and all you have to do is do X, Y, Z, and they will believe that you're the right people to vote for. If you freaking paint the robot, paint the lines on the street, and they're actually trained to use the least amount of money to make the most impact and then raise your taxes, and you won't be unhappy to pay the higher taxes. That's how stupid we've become. Because we don't care about freedom as much as we care about that robot being painted yellow. And unfortunately, I know it's not the case for most of you watching here, but I do want you to reflect on that. And when you speak to someone else, please tell them, do you think that the DA know what I'm talking about? If all they do is focus on the election year, and I can't only vouch for that, I can tell you long stories about that. It is actually when I realized how they actually don't care about the people and they just care about the power and the votes, I was shocked. I didn't expect it to be that bad, to be honest. And, you know, I can give you a lot of detail if you want. And all the DA members that spend time with me, even the senior ones, the current person running for May in Cape Town, Jordan Lewis. Jordan, if you see this, sorry, Pang. You know, we spent time together. We had meetings together. We discussed things. You said the wrong things many times, and now it's coming back to bite you. And that's just how life is. We have over 200 people on here. Wow, I never expected that. So, yes, they are a disgrace. And, you know, I can at least admit that I was wrong. I believed at one stage, and I was a fool. I was an idiot. Yeah, it was definitely one of the most pathetic things I've done in my life, is not see through what was happening sooner. Eventually I did, and when I did, I left. I just left the DA. I was working at Koeberg Nuclear Power Station at the time, and so I didn't seek public office or anything like that. I donated money towards them, cash, transfers, and spent a lot of my own fuel and time driving around and helping, and donated things towards the election campaigns. And I was wrong. I didn't know it then, but it was a big, steep learning curve. And so I know the mayoral candidate for Cape Town very, very well from a political perspective, and maybe too well for his own good. Yeah. So you will see promises of jobs and service delivery. I'm so sick of it. There's no politician that can promise you jobs. What on earth has it got to do with politics? Really? People are elected to, in this governance system, I'm not talking about a future governance system. In this governance system, people are elected to make laws. That's what they are there to do, to make laws. There are people being paid fat salaries all over government. That 58 cents in every tax rand. 58 cents going towards government salaries. That's not going towards politicians. There's people working in public administration. Those people are earning fat salaries, a lot of them, waiting for retirement. Those are the people that are supposed to make sure that infrastructure is working. Those are the people that are supposed to make sure that not more than 30% of your freaking water is running into the ground because the pipes pumping it from the dams are leaking 30% of that water into the flippin' soil. This twat. When people don't understand what's happening with the nitty-gritty, and believe me, these public officials don't want you to know. Once you get to know the details, you will run circles around them. And those of you who understand what's happening with the water and electricity and sewage and water drainage in the area you know I'm speaking to, you should understand that you should know that better than any public administrator in your area, because then they can't pull the wool over your eyes. Really. Ruth is saying, Jonathan, hi, Jonathan, Kakarot. I love the way Kakarot speaks about the truck that sits the whole day pumping sewage to keep it out of the lagoon. In Milnerton, after hours, that truck goes home and then it all runs into the lagoon after it leaves. And those people will get paid. There's so many things like this happening around the country. And at a work site, always look at how many people are working and how many people are standing and watching. It's fascinating. Yes, there's lots of comments here. So, yes, you know, this is not just about, it's not about the parties. It is absolutely about getting rid of them. We have to get rid of political parties. It's so important. And as I said the other day, if you want to support anything now in any elections, support someone that wants to get rid of the party system and implement a new system, a new constitution. If we don't get a new constitution, we are so screwed. I mean, we can't carry on. If we don't get the country fixed up and everything in place by 2029, it's ticket. So that is a point of no return. I've spoken about many points of no return, and that's one of them. If we can't get things done by 2029, then plan A has failed, because then you've gone past the point of no return. Then you go over to plan B, and plan B, like I always say, ends up at plan C. So welcome if there's any new people in this live stream, but let me quickly explain plan A, B, and C. Plan A is where we collectively help the entire country as a collective, conscious of people, to fight for freedom, create a new political system, a new constitution, a new Bill of Rights, a new education system, a new judiciary. And from that, everything will change. A tiny national government, get rid of provincial governments that are a complete waste of time and effort, and take governance locally. Turn the pyramid on its head and make sure that we are at the top, at the top of the pyramid. The base is at the top, and the tip of the pyramid is facing downwards. And the people that are brave enough to put themselves forward for election under a direct election system, they will feel the pressure of those above them. It will be a privilege for those people to serve, and people that will serve in that dispensation, you have not seen yet campaigning. Nowhere. I can guarantee you that, because we are first going to have to change how we live, change the society we live in before those people will step forward and start leading. They are out there. There's lots of brilliant South Africans out there that will lead a new type of society. But what needs to happen is we need to first prove that we deserve it. At the moment, we deserve to be subjects in this absolutely pathetic system we find ourselves in. We deserve it because consumerism has made sure that we are captured, completely and utterly captured in the Rothschild-created financial system. And as long as we are happy in that system, the status quo will not only remain, we will lose more and more freedom on a weekly basis, not monthly, not yearly, weekly. And very soon it will lose one freedom after the other in the name of safety and security. And it'll be too easy, too easy. Something. It's a complete waste of my breath. That's what it is, Edrich. Complete and utter waste. If someone is not telling you to become self-reliant and they don't want a solution for the entire country and they don't want to change the current constitution, they are not your friend. They are your enemy. And a lot of people say, Des, but how can you say that they are your enemy? Go and watch my introduction video. At the moment, we're at a place in history where there is a divide, a literal split between greater good ideology and individual liberty. And yes, that is the only place where I separate people. And after that, we need to unite people, because you cannot unite people that want to take other people's freedom away. There is no unification point. It's impossible. And we've gone beyond that, because now the plans of the people that are implementing the Bavarian Illuminati plan of Adam Weishaupt are obviously, or that Adam Weishaupt scripted and wrote, they are obviously in control of everything that's happening around us. You can see it with blatant, simple evidence. Freedom is under attack and you are giving it away freely. So I don't have an opinion on anything that's irrelevant, Edrich. Irrelevant. Irrelevant. That is the best word I can use. What is relevant? If you look after yourself, make yourself as self-reliant as possible, then you become relevant to the country. If you are not self-reliant and you can't look after yourself and you're going to look up to someone else to save you, then you become yourself irrelevant. So we want millions of South Africans to be relevant, to be real citizens in a true form of democracy, which doesn't exist right now. We need to create it from scratch. And if we don't create that from scratch, we will have nothing to live for. Nothing. What did Klaus Schwab say? You will own nothing and you will be happy. He's telling you how you're going to be. He's not questioning you. He's telling you. The plan is laid out clearly and plainly. The people that can't see the plan, I cannot help you. You deserve what's coming to you, unfortunately. And I don't have time to feel pity for you, because everyone has the ability and the capability to do the research necessary. This channel has oodles of information on it, and this is why I created the channel, so that there is a place where you can sit and make the effort to go through all the videos, and I drop very specific hints everywhere. And the more you watch the videos, and you will hear me repeating certain things, the picture should start to form. And many people have contacted me and said, Desmond, we binge watched everything within a week. All your videos, all 600 and whatever, every single one. Now that's impressive. I don't think I've ever done something like that. But afterwards, they get a clear picture of what I'm talking about. A lot of people make an effort to contact me. So I cannot focus on the irrelevant. What is irrelevant? Anything that says that they are going to solve something for you is irrelevant. Anything where a person says that they are going to save you, they are irrelevant because they can't. I mean, there's no person that's going to save you. If you're religious, then you will believe that it's going to be Muhammad or whatever. I mean, I'm not an expert on all religions. But when a person says that they are going to save you and you need to depend on them, there is something fundamentally wrong with you following that person. There's something wrong with you. If someone says that I want to be your mayor because I will perform the administrative duties of a mayor the best that I can and you can hold me accountable, that's very different to someone saying, I'm going to give you jobs, I'm going to give you better service delivery, I'm going to give you all these things. There is not one single person that is God that can say that I can walk into the administration office, sit in the council and tell all the flippin' oaks that are not elected, the people that are getting a monthly salary, to get off their backsides and get out there and get their work done. I want to see that person. They are lying to you. They are liars. They are chronic, blatant liars. And they're not even very good at it. So people, really, we need to focus on what is relevant in your life first. And you need to focus on the things that can make you free. You free first. And to be free, to make choices, you need to be self-reliant first. If you are not self-reliant, you are screwed. I won't be able to help you in future. Just remember, I can't help other people to become self-reliant, to think freely. Tomorrow, I will be going to an event that's been organized in the northern suburbs for our members. And I can't wait to actually just go and attend that and spend time with the people in a park somewhere. And I'm going to go there with my family. Those are the things that we need to do. Spend time with other people in nature. And work together as teams, in teams, to achieve an end objective. That is the only way we are going to beat this international enemy. The enemy is not what the mainstream media makes it out to be. They are part of the problem, not just a part of the problem. They are paid to be the problem. Anonymous. Like I say, I really like it if people's names are there. My name is out on this channel. Everyone can see my name. I just respond much better to names. Nicolene, we have a ghost government. Yeah, that's probably a good way of putting it. Edrich. Yeah, Edrich, yeah. I understand. Edrich, I spoke to Edrich earlier today, a really awesome person, and Edrich asks good questions, and we need to understand when something is relevant or not relevant for you. And don't waste your time on things, firstly, that you can do nothing about. If you're stressing about something that you can do nothing about, then you are killing yourself at a younger age for no reason. There are certain things that you can do something about. Work on those every single day. And that can include speaking to other people. It should absolutely include having 3 months food and water storage to begin with, because that gives you options in future. Options. There are people being fired right now for not doing this in this country. And there's many more companies doing that. I've seen documents from various companies. I know some of the medical aid companies, they are going to start releasing statements very soon. And you are going to see how your freedom to choose is being taken away. And a company can do whatever they want. They can decide that they don't want you as a customer. A company can decide, I will only allow these people through my doors, people that wear Oros man suits. And they can make that a rule. You're allowed to do that. So you don't have a right to dictate to a corporation at all, or any business. So if you want to have certain things that that business has, go and get it somewhere else or make it yourself. That is my advice to you. That is self-reliance. No, nothing changed, AJ. That doesn't make any sense. No, nothing has changed. AJ just asked if the membership fees for Double O's members changed. Certainly not. You know, you set a set fee, and which YouTube gives you. They actually give you set fees, and there's fees for 200 Rand, 500 Rand, and even 1,500 Rand. And so it's a set fee. It shouldn't change at all. So I have no idea. Juliet, yeah, if you can work for yourself, that's really wonderful. There's nothing wrong with having a business, okay, and giving other people employment. It should be about the humanity first. If it's about the humanity, you can have an awesome work team. You can achieve incredible things. And working in a team together in any business, especially the smaller community businesses, is so rewarding. And I think there's so many people that have experienced that. And you know, the moment you have these large global corporations, everything changes. It's a completely different field. And it's these small companies that can so easily be trodden under. They are the ones that battle. When they keep the economy going at the end of the day, they are the ones that take the risks, because the large corporations, they do everything in bulk. So they can keep their prices artificially low, or they can do price fixing, where the other companies have to compete with them, and it's almost impossible. It's like ganging up against normal humans out there that just want to make a living. Carmen, I don't have a medical aid. My body takes care of itself, and then I take the responsibility for anything stupid that I do. Andre, do I like Alex Jones? I don't have a specific opinion on Alex Jones. I love the fact that he crawled through the grass in the Bohemian Grove and actually filmed the burning of care. But at least he could prove now that they're not burning human sacrifices, that it sticks inside like a cloak. But yeah, Alex Jones, I don't have time to watch anything like that. I watched Alex Jones back in the early 2000s. He's been around for years. I think Alex Jones was a trendsetter in many things. I have no idea where his mind is at the moment. Like I said, I haven't had time. I don't follow any person at all. Yeah, I'm sorry if there's buffering happening. If you want to watch a video afterwards, then YouTube will actually compact everything nicely so that you can watch it, no problem. So I won't be upset if you go off the stream and watch it afterwards, because I'm using literally my phone as a hotspot at the moment. This is it. This is our connection, our tether. And then I have my little Tidally with my personal number on it. You should all have your Tidally, please. Okay, make sure you have a Tidally that hasn't got an IP address, like a PC. You got walkie-talkies, that's awesome. Yeah, DW, we can ask all of those questions. He says, alles is no mandatory, but when is no corruption mandatory? You know, asking a question like that doesn't help us. What we need to do is put a system in place where we elect officials directly, and then we can hold them accountable. So it doesn't mean the person's not going to do something wrong, but at least you can kick them out. Currently, you can't kick the person out. So, I mean, the system that is actually looking at is a system where you will be able to get rid of that person if you elected them and they're not fulfilling their mandate. You can get rid of them. There's a process, and that is so important. You're going to see people seeking power in the current system telling you that the other parties are bad and they are better, and I'm going to save you, and I'm going to be the next president of the country. And there's not just one of them, there's a couple of them at the moment. And I see some of them have made the front news articles in IOL today. I was quite shocked when I saw that on my phone, because these people are, I sometimes think that some of these people are actually, they get them off the ground to try and stop the concept of direct elections, because a lot of people must say, if that is what's going to come to the fore with the concept of direct elections, then I'll rather have parties. That's the kind of people that have come to the fore. That's why I say, if we do not change the way we behave, we will not get the people coming forward that we do deserve under a new system, because we first need to change our behavior and stop being subjects and behave like citizens. We don't behave like citizens at the moment. We have to. We have to start behaving like citizens. No, they can't increase anything, AJ. It's not possible. The membership fee on the channel is set by YouTube, and they take 30% of that fee for the administration. I have nothing to do with that. It's R59.99 a month. That's it. And you can join for 1 month, watch all the videos, and leave. You don't have to stay on. So it's not, you can absolutely decide what you want to do. That's the beauty of the YouTube system. All the risk is on YouTube and myself. And what it basically is a very good filter. And it's so awesome. Last night I could do a live stream with all the members. I can go into so much detail. I can speak about a lot of detail because it's a filtered group of people. It's really special. And about half of the people in this live stream now are members. It's so awesome to see you here. And yeah, next week, Thursday, is going to be a humdinger, because I'm going to give the members things that's never been seen before by nobody. So I think the time is right. And the 2 videos I did on Afrikanerdom and Afrikaans and Jan Smuts has hopefully given the members something to go and research. And based on some of the feedback I've gotten, a lot of people are busy doing research now. And I want them to come to their own conclusions. It can't be about me. That's very important. Adele, you said you're not interested in voting anymore. What if you can vote for something that'll get rid of the system completely? If that is the only democratic thing you can do. In fact, at the moment, the majority of eligible voters choose not to vote. And it's your right not to vote. Our constitution doesn't tell you that you must vote. In certain countries, it's compulsory. If you don't vote, you can actually go to jail in some countries. Okay. Yeah, Juliet, I'm also looking forward to that. And I'm sure my fiber will be sorted out by then. So where we stay, there's already Vumatel installed. So the link to Vumatel is there, the fiber link. And I actually want to talk about the 5th generation technology. You don't need towers all over the place for 5th generation. You just need fiber. That's all you need. And then you've got a backbone for spying, monitoring, tracking, and tracing the whole world. Now, it's awesome to have fast internet because there's so much we can do with fast internet. It's the moment you start using it to monitor, track, and trace people that we have problems. So we need to literally create our own internet structure within South Africa. We absolutely should do that. Yes, Mari, you can save yourself, absolutely. However, if you look at an international enemy, if we don't work together in organized groups, you'll not make it. I can guarantee you that. And earlier I was speaking about plan A, B, and C. And plan A is when we're working with the whole country. Plan B, I don't want to discuss now because plan B always ends up with plan C, at plan C. Plan C, so in other words, plan B just delays the inevitable. Plan C is Mad Max. Every man for himself. Any of you that have watched the Mad Max movies will understand what I mean. And, you know, we saw a bit of Mad Max in KZN recently. Imagine Mad Max everywhere in the world. That's where we'll get to. So Failure is not an option. Plan A has to work. At the moment, we're on track. We need to stay on track. We are just on track. Okay. So we need to really, really keep on working hard. Marlene says, it seems the brainwashing of the media on the population is entrenched in our psyche. Marlene, it started at a very young age. You know, when you went to primary school, you're already indoctrinated into reading newspaper articles as if it's truth, and reading You magazine articles as if it's truth, when it's only a perspective. That's why on this channel, I say that I give my perspective. A lot of people perceive it to be truth. And to me, it's my truth. That's why I say I speak my truth. However, I want you to decide what is truth for you. So I give my perspective, and then I absolutely believe that people need to make the effort to go and do their own research, find things out, speak to people. And in the end, people might become my bitter enemy. And that has certainly happened. And that is fine. That I believe in liberty. In other words, you have a right to fight everything that I believe as much as you want. I mean, someone that believes in the greater good ideology, they are my enemy because I believe in the polar opposite. You can't merge the two. It's like Biden and Trump. The one that says he believes in liberty, the other one that obviously stands for greater good ideology. You cannot merge the two. Now you have half a country supporting Donald Trump, you have half the country supporting Joe Biden. I mean, what you have at the end of the day is a completely divided nation. And the thing is, those ideologies don't have to be created by any specific thing. We are born wanting to make up our minds. We are born that way. And then you are conditioned to believe that you should give up your freedom for the greater good of others. And that's utter rubbish. And that's my belief. And people don't have to believe the same that I do. You don't have to. Andre, you need more truth bombs. Yeah, I do the truth bombs. I'll do that in the members section next week, Thursday. It's far safer that way. You know, I've had people phone me, had long discussions with me, say that they support. So you can, if you are telling, if you are imposing something on someone else that they didn't say that they were going to do, there's something wrong with your mind. Because Donald Trump never said he's going to save the world, not once. I haven't heard him say it once. He's playing 6D chess. The people that fall for that twak, really, I feel sorry for them. Hi, Laura. Yeah, please research. Yeah, please research. Hi, Justin, Tariq. Yeah, maybe we won't be able to do a longer session. I mean, I was willing to go till 12 o'clock. The hotspot's still there, but it says my connection is unstable. My connection is unstable. Thanks, Priscilla. Welcome. Yeah, please join us next week, Thursday at 8 o'clock. Members, hi, Antoinette. Please go and watch the previous videos. They're all there in the members playlist. So you will have access to all of them. Antoinette, that is all that I would like now, because that's going to help myself, my wife, and my kids to be safe. If you, in numbers, as our numbers grow, that you make yourself safe first. So try not to convince other people first. As our numbers grow, that you make yourself safe first. So try not to convince other people first, or any opportunity you might get. And just share information. You know, just use this channel and the information on you as a tool. Remember, I'm not going to be anyone's leader ever. I'm not interested in that. I have experienced things in life, and those things I want to transfer to people so people can use it. And interested in that. I have experienced things in life, and those things I want to transfer to people so people can use it. En Andy, hoe gaan dit jou kant? Billy, if you are capable of doing that, you're a very special person. Really, that's awesome. Way past bedtime. It is, Ruth, but it's incredible how many people's coming to this live stream. We at one stage we were 260 people. I actually can't believe it that we've got this many people this late at night. Oh yes, yeah. Remember, this isn't a membership video. This is for all subscribers. I'm going to thing I wanted to address, and the Concord ruling is definitely one of those. Very important to understand that. Firstly, our constitution is so screwed up that the Concord actually couldn't get us out of the situation. So they've decided we must still have the elections, and that there has to be a voters registration week on a time schedule that's not going to work. What about the parties that couldn't get the candidates selection done on time, like the African National Congress, which has the largest representation in council? Remember, the African National Congress is where they are because of grassroots in rural areas, not because of metros. That is their mainstay. And remember, my chief concern is not for the ANC, it's for stability in the country. And it's important that the destabilization, that's not okay. Yeah, listen, we can all be full of lockdown. What is going to change it? A new governance system. We will go resolved if we pull finger and we firstly sort ourselves out, and then we start with other people around us, build a critical mass so we can change the governance system. You can complain about this, and you can complain about this, and you can complain about curfew and all sorts of things till you're blue in the face, and you will achieve nothing if you have not helped build a critical mass of people, starting with yourself, okay? Having 3 months supply of food and water to begin with, okay? So that you have options. And from there, you can start building on a lot of things. Find an organization. Come up with your own plan. Now, as you see people from all sorts of new parties popping up everywhere, a whole lot of people with new ideas. Those ideas are being tested right now in the public domain. This is very important that this takes place. What does that do? It means that we are still free in this country. When you have 500 parties taking part in local government elections, you're living in a very free country. Okay, we are by far the freest country on this planet. I mean, people just went and ransacked the whole of KZN. That's how free we are in South Africa. KZN. That's how free we are in South Africa. So free train the people of the country to be citizens instead of subjects. Subjects are subject to corporations exploiting them, working for a pittance, having to take taxis to go to work, that eventually you are so fed up with the lockdowns and everything, and you are so desperate that when you see opportunity that you will go and raid a store, when other people instigated it and planned it long time ago, many years ago. Okay, that is what happens. You end up using people for your own end objectives. Adele, he has contacted me. She says, please explore certain person. He has contacted me, and this is a frustration. When you're putting a plan out there, okay, and other people go and copy, it is a waste of time. Complete and utter waste of time if you do not tackle the global enemy. If your plan does not include tackling the global enemy, if you don't have the knowledge of how to combat the global enemy. It'll come to what it is. It's nothing else. And the people that know what's happening on the ground understand exactly what I'm saying. So it's great that people are trying all sorts of ideas, forms. And on my platform, I'm going to say what I believe needs to be done. And when something doesn't align with certain things that has to happen for us to fight the global enemy, then it's a subversion, a diversion, or the person is just completely digressing or misunderstanding the global picture and the local problem. And that's fine. You see, at the end of the day, the best plan will always win. And this is why you can never have organizations working together. It's impossible for organizations to work together. But you can unite people, humans, through humanity and love. That is what you can do. It's awesome. And you know, if a person comes up with a better plan than the plan that I'm following, it will work better than the plan that I'm being able to criticize it, because it is already working exactly as it was laid out. And the moment a plan is that good, because it relies on individuals, it doesn't rely on a leader or any superhero person, and it's based, it cannot be infiltrated, it cannot be subverted or anything like that. Anyone else that tries to subvert something, they will fail. They're not going to be successful. They will fail at what they are doing, because they were actually doomed before they started, because they don't have the big picture, because there's certain things I don't reveal. There's a reason for that, because you will have the whole Mickey Mouse brigade running off with those ideas, trying to implement it. It's really been great being with you. Yeah, I don't know how it says my connection is unstable again. It's really annoying. Doge Gang, what's it? This is something I've wanted to speak about. Thanks for asking, Doge Gang, is what's happening in Afghanistan. Okay, this is not dropping a bombshell. This should be saying the obvious. Has anyone ever considered that the current US government and president wants the Taliban in charge? Has anyone seen that Joe Biden and his administration wants the Taliban in charge of Afghanistan? End of story. They made a deal with him, and who knows what the Taliban's going to do, but that is what's happening in Afghanistan. End of story. Whatever the mainstream media is telling you is just a load of twat. I can't believe that people fall for such nonsense. So yeah, the entire Afghanistan now is an American operation from beginning to end, all planned long time ago. The interesting thing is Joe Biden slipped up by saying that Donald Trump negotiated with the Taliban first, which means that he then contemplates that Donald Trump would have handed Afghanistan over to the Taliban. It's not a chance. So you look at the mainstream media, you hear what they're saying, Biden stuffed up, and I'm thinking, what the heck are you saying? Can't you see that he wants them there? Really? I mean, that's hilarious. Yes, Billy, absolutely. I'm so glad, there's so many people, especially members on this channel, that start to see things for what they are now. Because once you start conditioning yourself or un-mainstream media your brain, it's almost like unschooling. When your kids don't go to school anymore, you actually see things differently, and it's really awesome. I went through that process. So, I mean, I was also a sheeple. I suppose I said last night, that I often still behave like a sheeple, but I make those confessions to my members. I confess many many things to the channel members. It's nice speaking to that community. It's really awesome. Do we have a troll? Where's the troll? Where's the troll? We get rid of trolls, chop. Shame. All his history is now gone. Like he's never existed. Shame. So the Promethean is saying we forget that the world is mirroring itself all the time. What is above is also a reflection of governance at the bottom. But change the mind and you separate yourself from the mirror world. I hope you people can comprehend what the Promethean. I need my fiber first before I do live streams. Not live streams, but actually do interviews, because I have to run OBS Studio. I have to run Skype or some other platform, and I have to upload to YouTube. So it'll be exponentially worse. Very good connection. Was the elections fair? Which elections, Andre? You don't just hand off all that unemployment. Yeah. Yes, there is a reason. Absolutely. That is absolutely true. But we straighten up and carry on. That is so vital, people, that you all understand. It's okay to make mistakes. The whole premise of the Bavarian Illuminati and Adam Weishaupt's plan that he laid out, and I'm still, the jury is still out on whether I often say things completely wrong, like that other flippin' vaccine that the FDA approved. I certainly didn't get that name right, and I still haven't listened to what that name is. Our minds are very powerful, extremely powerful, in fact. If you actually understand how much information you can take into your mind and keep in your frontal RAM, in other words, you were able to information you can take into your mind and keep in your frontal RAM. In other words, you were able to just record the alarms in the control room, and I knew exactly what the set point was for each alarm, what actions to take, what the alarm meant when I saw it. And all of the other people on that license course could do the same. It wasn't just myself. There were 6 of us on that course. And it's fascinating to see what the human mind is capable of, how much you can remember. It's an endless computer. And you see, this is where AI can never beat us, because there is no limit to the computing power of the human brain. Yeah, the mainstream media. I think of mainstream media like the lie they want everyone to believe, end of story, and it's all over. TV, radio, everything. So having good truth is invaluable. Owning knowledge is survival. Warren, I love the fact that you say owning knowledge is survival. That is absolutely true. Why don't you go write that down? If someone else didn't say it, you can call it Warren Walter. It's your quote. Owning knowledge is survival. Whoever. It's your own information. You can speak with conviction and authority on it because you've done research. I will often just give you the hints of what to go look at. I'm not going to tell you what to believe. You need to do that yourself. Oh, I am. Then you need to get worried. And I don't understand the mentality that worships that, because that's what it becomes. It's really sad. So in yourself, just use the information, please, and rely on yourself. Become a leader in your own life. There another troll. Anonymous is asking, can I ask if there will be a health passport arriving in RSA 20? I can't say what's going to be happening in next year. The health passports have been planned for a very long time. I've been speaking about it since last year. The UCT developed one. So right here in our shore, so it doesn't need to arrive from overseas. So it's just about government implementing it. Yeah, Warren says, me 200% making more stuff ups than anything else, but constantly learning and growing. You know, the more you learn, the more stuff ups you make. It's unfortunately the truth. So that You know so much less. The moment you get to that level of understanding, the world just becomes infinitely larger. The universe becomes infinitely larger, and you realize how little you know. And we are tiny, yet extremely important. And that is fascinating to me. Okay, we have troll attack. I think maybe we should finish up because there's obviously people paying for trolls to attack our live stream at this stage. This channel has been under attack for some, and it's probably going to get worse in future. And yeah, it means that people are taking notice of what we're doing. You know, you can't deny the success of the community of this information and research things. And there's no one person you can attack because there's just thousands of people wanting information. I mean, how do you stop that? You can't. Yeah, it's interesting. So there's been two people now that literally when they, and this is why bots, you pay for those bots to attack a live stream. Could be the DA. They actually had teams of people running bots like that. I'm literally being a troll on social media. No, I don't know. I can't say when something like that will be implemented and how it will be implemented and how it will be mandated. I tell people to prepare for anything as fast as you can. And that's just a simple principle to live by. And many of the people on this channel do. You know, they've decided to take more action than just being a channel member. Many of the people here have actually joined the proper resistance on the ground against these global enemies and are working to be a part of the solution. So yeah, it's really wonderful knowing them, spending time with them. And tomorrow I'll be spending time with people from 10:30 till 12:30. We'll be gathering together at a nice place somewhere and spending time together. And it's really great to be able to do that. Yeah, Rian, one of the big problems that's happening though with the channel is because it was so successful in the last 3 months. The channel got literally well over 1 million views in a short space of time. What's happening now is the bots, the algorithms immediately, they won't monetize the video. And what that does is YouTube won't advertise it so that it's seen by more people. So they're trying to get my views down as fast as possible. So what these people are doing is the moment I post a video, they'll humans. They then take actions when 3 people have reported the same thing. They see it as real automatically. Then later a real person reviews it. And only much later do you then, after 3 to 4 days, does that video get monetized? And when that happens, the initial algorithms are gone. So they are very successful in annihilating a channel. So the only thing that helps to counter that, and I've had campaigns like that before, is to ask the channel subscribers to share the absolute living daylights out of the video and like them rapidly. Once that happens, those people's reports. Okay. So the thumbs up on the channel can overcome those initial reports of people reporting the videos the moment they drop. So we might have to, I might call on a campaign like that. And in the past, the members have absolutely done a sterling job. And I just want to monitor till Monday to see what happens over the weekend. Because we had a very clean run for a long period of time. And for the past 2 weeks, my videos have been reported so heavily that I actually battled to just get them on. And my country doing this to us. To beating the shadow ban is to have people share the videos and the channel. So if you share the videos and you like it, the algorithm sees that you actually don't think there's something wrong with the video. And the way the algorithms are built, if 3 people immediately dislike a video, I would, for instance, post a video, there'll be a dislike by the time there's 20 likes up, which means there's someone sitting and waiting for me to post. So they subscribe to the channel, they wait for the bell icon. The moment that video is posted, they get the notification, they dislike it without watching it. So some people are really obsessed with what the channel is doing, and they are psychotic. They need help, mental help. Maybe they need to go to Groendakkies or Valkenburg or something. But, you know, at the end of the day, there's so much more of us. It's just a reflection of what's happening in the world. The people that want good in the world are by far the majority. By far. And that's really awesome. Ilka, it's actually not YouTube stopping you from commenting. This channel doesn't allow links, okay? Because then the channel can get spammed badly. What happens is someone else can report your comment, and then your comment gets removed, okay? So, channel in the end, and report your channel as a fake channel, and then you will become unsubscribed of other channels. So a lot of people have said they became unsubscribed, and they don't know why. It's because people are reporting your channel. If they see that you're a strong supporter, they will actually attack you. Aisha, that'll be great. Just mental communication. Absolutely, Ruth. Humans are fundamentally good. I love the way you put that. It's so straightforward and simple. Too young to comment. That's odd. I do have to select whether these videos are suitable for children or not, and I said no, they are not suitable for children. So yeah, I don't know how that affects things. Okay, any other questions? Let me see if I've missed anything. Jeanette asked, do you believe that museums and artifacts should be preserved? Was that history even true? Well, that's a very good question. History is being rewritten right now, and when there's a Rothschild involved, you know that he's not happy with that history, or that history doesn't serve the narrative that he wants. So, you know, it's not something that I have a specific thought on. It depends on people. You know, the kind of society that preserves things, I suppose it says something about that society. It's like saying, how do people look after their animals? Says something about a society, or the elderly, or the disabled or less abled amongst them. The financial system didn't like that. And so the CIA and FBI banned these file sharing programs like eDonkey. Have any of you used eDonkey in the past? Now, programs such as eDonkey, you could literally see other users, and you could access their PC and look at the files on their PC that they're willing to share. And then you can download that file and use it if you wanted to. Now, that doesn't make money for people. It's like me swap, and they don't like that. So think about that. Anything that you can do, is not telling you to grow your own veggie independence. They want you to be dependent on them. They want power, might over you. That should be a simple test. So any person that's not telling you to empower yourself, okay, that person's not your friend. They cannot be your friend, especially not a friend of freedom. Hopefully that puts it in the most simplest form. Buffering, aye. Okay, Christo, very good question. How long is it going to take before we see the impact of the critical mass? We already are. Okay, so you can test a critical mass change. For instance, a very good example is this. How people thought about that in the country before, and how that perception changed. It means that you put out information to people, And these people aren't necessarily anti this, they're questioning. And because they are questioning, they're not willing to take part in an experiment at this stage. And some of them want to wait, some of them don't want to take a risk. And that means that they are just questioning things. And that's never a bad thing. And I will fight for people's freedom to do that. So what impact have we had? If you actually look at the amount of views this channel has had, I can speak for this channel, has had way over 4 million views, is on its way to 5 million views in just over a year. That's a massive amount of views for very few subscribers. This channel hasn't got a huge amount of subscribers. There's a lot of returning viewers. In fact, triple of the amount of subscribers are returning viewers. So almost 100,000 returning viewers, okay, every 90 days. And those people are sharing the videos now at a rate of 4,000 shares per video. That is unbelievable. I don't think there's any other channel in this country that's got those kinds of stats. So the community on this channel and the subscribers have literally driven the information everywhere. And we can see the real impact. So we're seeing ministers change the way they speak after specific things were said in videos. We're seeing the president changing the way they say things in speeches because of things that were said in videos. We actually see the mainstream media in certain instances changing what they say based on things that were said. So this community is already making a difference. So a critical mass has to grow for various reasons. So changing the narrative and the way people think, that critical mass is already there. That change is tangible, okay? But we need people to get to a point where they change their lives too. Now that is a totally different kettle of fish. Getting people to change what they've been routinely doing for decades. That's far more complicated. And to do that, you have to repeat things over and over and over. And for people to hear that and think about it, and then something should happen to someone to then make that change or make that switch. And for everyone, that happens for different reasons. And I've heard so many special stories of people contacting me and saying, Desmond, the light bulb went off with this, or the light bulb went off with that. And they do it on their own, and then they carry on with life. It was no different for me. I had people influence me in my life to experience what I have and to do what I have. I couldn't do it on my own. It's impossible. And the same way, you are having influence in other people's lives again. That is growing that critical mass. To change the political system, there's a very specific critical mass of people we need. And it's based on very valid science almost, because you can base on things that have happened throughout history. You can look at numbers and how numbers influence certain things. And I have actually, if you look at the numbers such as 1 million, if you want a million people to have a certain amount of knowledge and skills, etc., okay, then that having 1 million people means that you can now rely on 300,000, not on the million. And from that 300,000, you can rely further for certain things on 100,000. And from there again on 30,000. Does that make sense? And in the end, you only need a certain amount of people to get to a certain place. Darwin says, believe nothing, question everything. Absolutely. Well, Antoinette, if you go to informal settlements, the youth there knows a lot about the New World Order. So that's been my experience. Maybe in the middle to upper middle class, you're sitting with a huge problem. Responsibility is a privilege. I love that. Also, having a job is a privilege. It's not a right. And so politicians promising jobs, goodness, who do they think they are? Playing God. I am so sick of that. Thanks for relaxing. Hopefully you can watch it afterwards. Then it shouldn't buffer like this. I'm so sorry that that was your experience. So you can watch this video at the end, but please go watch the Moments in Time and the Question Everything series. Any of you that are new to the channel, go and watch the Moments in Time and Question Everything series in the playlist. A lot of people, I think, it's given them a proper perspective of what this channel is about. I speak very plainly and simply. I've tried to leave the brutality out of things because we're in a new phase now where we have to focus on that self-reliance and how to achieve that. That's very important. And in this little studio that if I come around, I've got a lot of mess. I have to put in carpets on the floor. I have to put in draping on the ceilings to get the sound better. And so I understand studio work. I studied radio and transmission and TV when I was in technical high school. I studied amplifiers, transmitters, microphones, acoustic design. So those things are normal to me besides my nuclear experience. Becoming a licensed reactor operator and actually becoming a senior instructor, teaching licensed reactor operators, then becoming a senior engineering consultant and a project manager. So, I've been in the nuclear industry for many years. It's a very special place to work. I've learned so much there. The people in that industry are unique. They have time to fall over. Yes, I think I'm going to go and join my wife as well. It was really great for you to come in Freedom Initiative. So I will announce those events and where they will be. People can contact me. Freedom. Okay, on a farm, a small like that. Let me know in the Durban area, and then everyone should be able to come together there and just have a good time together. That's important. And well, it's just a bare brick wall. I kind of like it too. It is kind of nice. I must say, I'm shining two cob lights onto the brick wall on the other side of me, and that reflective light is what I get on me now, and the camera is doing really well with that. So it's the best lighting I've had in a very long time. So we will work with what we have here and improve it as much as possible. But we will be based here for the next 2 years and then move out to the other areas. I will probably, with some of the events, I will fly out to those events. But remember, these events are not about me. The events are about people getting together and gathering. And the first big gathering in Cape Town will be on the 18th of September. So the people in Cape Town all plan to come together that day. Yes, we'll start from 3 o'clock. But you can come earlier. We'll go for a long walk on the beach. All of us. It's going to be lots of fun. There's a swimming pool there. There's large decks everywhere. There's so many spaces. So the Monkey Valley can accommodate a lot of people. So I'm really looking forward to that. Oh, Karma Earth. But you can go and watch this live stream just now. Good night, everyone. Good night, Antoinette. Darwin, I'm glad you have your ham license. Good night, Jureta. Lorraine. I'm sorry about the buffering. It seems to be okay now. But hopefully the fiber will be in, and then we will be able to have awesome live streams. But thank you so much. I will certainly do a video tomorrow morning. And just remember, each of you are already making the difference. You have made a massive difference in this country. And how you see that is how the narrative has changed, how the mainstream media has to change their story all the time and counter our narrative. So they are following on us. Now, the moment they are following the results of what we've achieved, they are on the back foot. Okay. So that ties in with the question that was asked earlier. When do we know that we've reached a critical mass? With regards to the mainstream media, they already have to start responding to what we have achieved as a group of people across the country. So, you people are pioneers. You're absolutely awesome. I look up to what you are doing, the fact that you are willing to do this. You're sitting on a Friday something about your character. So thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'm going to have a good night's rest. I've done 3 trips today to offload things and so on. So each time you will see things changing in the studio and improving. And hopefully the sound will be better. But the most important thing is that we get the fiber sorted out. So thank you so much. Yeah. Sleep nicely. Good night. So, Karma, you can watch this afterwards. The stream won't have any buffering. When YouTube actually puts everything together, they compress it all nicely. And then you can watch a buffer-free live stream. Good night. Yes, people, remember, love conquers all things. Hi, Vonnie, Claudette. Thank you so much for coming onto this live stream. It's really been awesome. And that's really, really stunning. But it is important that we get together in groups. So please, if you have not joined the hashtag Freedom SA group, say which area you're in and go to a Freedom SA event. There's been hundreds across the country. It's absolutely stunning. And it doesn't depend on me or any other person. It's individuals doing things, taking initiative. Good night. Hi, Annette. Bye-bye. Yeah, you can share this, Antoinette. Afterwards, you can share the video. Thanks for the almost 200 likes. That's wonderful. That'll drive the algorithms for this video. Good night, everyone.